Isn't it time you got off the sidelines and tackled trading? Join our online community of active traders where we make it happen every day. Stocks, options, futures, and Forex at www.tackletrading.com. Get in the game.
Matt Justice here for Tackle Trading to bring you the market recap video for Monday, October 19th, 2015. And not a whole lot to talk about, to be perfectly honest, in the market recap video for today. Very light volume, below average volume today. Price action was very small. Not a whole lot of movement either up or down. Market kind of just hung out there for the better part of the day. If you want to recap kind of the daily action since the opening from yesterday, meaning Sunday, that is. And as you can see, on the Sunday open, market came down a little bit, then it went back up a little bit. Here's the European market right there open. And so as it's coming down during the Chinese and the Japanese markets open, the Australian market open, then it comes right back up during the European market, hit that tide, looked like it was going to break out, and then it faded down again, went back up, faded down, went back up, and really kind of just ended back where it kind of started the European market from yesterday. So, and again, not a whole lot of price movement when you look at from the opening of today on. You're really only up the market maybe a few points overall in the S&P 500, with some of the other indexes lagging that even to a certain degree. So, not a lot to talk about from on a daily basis today. You know, looking at the price action here, we're just creeping up so slightly up into that kiss of death moment between the 2040 and the 2050, 2055 level. We talked about that last week in the market recap video. Looking at this coming back up, just kind of just inching its way up into that level right there at 2040 to 2050. It's not a kiss of death till it confirms going back down, but at this point, I do have a neutral bias on the market, but it is in a little bit of a fade mode with a lot of hope and wanting and wishing and hoping even more that the Fed doesn't raise interest rates, even though they keep on saying they will do that. Then they hint that they won't. So it's going to be interesting to see where it goes from that 2040 to 2050 level. I just don't see it really kind of driving that much more up. Maybe a fade up into resistance, but I do have a neutral bias on the market right now. With any confirmation on the weekly chart coming back down, I would switch back to a negative one bias. In the other major indexes that we look at, typically we're looking at the crude light right here. We had a little bit of a breakout, setting up at a higher high at $50, tracking back down, hammer candle. I kind of like crude oil right here from a buy side, currently at 46.57. You have a support level of 46 that if it ever comes underneath 46, you can get out of very quickly. So right now, I personally have a slightly bullish bias on crude oil, but underneath 46, it would switch back down to a neutral bias. So, you know, you're looking at kind of the low of today, and if you'll look at the intraday price action here, you know, coming back down to the low of the day right around 46.20. You're currently at 46.57. You don't want to do anything until you get confirmation back up, but at the same time, I see it at very little risk, given that we do have a fairly clean support level right around 46, with a secondary support level right around $44. On gold here, looking at gold has a slightly bullish bias. This is really one of the first times I've given gold a slightly bullish bias in many months. I've typically either been slightly bearish to neutral, but it did break out at 1160 area, kind of retracing back down a little bit. If you just look at the short-term price action here, that is a higher high. You got to give it a slightly bullish bias on that one, as well as the same thing on silver here, with a slightly bullish bias on silver. The VIX, on the other hand, the VIX is trying its hardest to get underneath that $15 mark, and currently at 14.98, and it's just kind of tracking down. Underneath 15, you can look for the VIX to come down even further. So if the market continues to fade up, look for the VIX to continue to fade down here. Now, as for stocks in the news, like I said, not a whole lot on the market today, but stocks in the news today. Halliburton reporting earnings today. As you can see right here, the icon, Halliburton is reporting earnings for the market and you see the little bit of increase in volume there. Let's look at the intraday price action here. Not a whole lot coming out of Halliburton's earnings, as you can see right there. Really kind of if you were looking for some dramatic movement one way or the other, we certainly did not get that on Halliburton. On IBM, on the other hand, IBM reported earnings today as well, and if you drop this down into the intraday price movement, IBM reports just an absolutely horrific earnings report, a continuation of what IBM is doing ever since it hit $200 about a year and a half ago. And as you can see, IBM down from 148 all the way down to currently at 141 right now, with absolutely massive volume coming on the announcement. So look for IBM to gap down in price today or later on today. Morgan Stanley reported earnings before the market bell today. Initial movement went up from 33.5 up to 35 before it settled back down for the rest of the day, hovering right around $32. And then VRX, and this is Valiant Pharmaceuticals company, reported earnings before the market opened today, and kind of got beat up a little bit, down 7.73% on the day. Had an intraday retracement there. If you look at this from a shorting perspective, obviously you're down right now around 160 in the market. I'm thinking a short anywhere underneath 160 would be a breaking of support. It's obviously got a little bit of a low base type scenario here, where you have simple consolidation over the last 2-3 weeks in Valiant. Look for a break of 160 for that to track down even further. And if you look into the past here, where it could go fairly quickly, could hit into 150. That would be a significant whole number of support. If you're looking at anything from a historical price level, 148 down to right around 138, I would say is your support level. So 148 to 138 could be a price target in a short position on Valiant. And this week in the marketplace, a tremendous amount of companies reporting earnings this week, from Southwest to American Airlines, two of your major airlines out there reporting earnings. In American, one of your regional jetliners in Southwest reporting earnings, and then a slew of other companies like Amazon and 3M Corporation, Microsoft, Google, Yahoo, Verizon, eBay, all reporting earnings this week, along with Boeing, Caterpillar, Chipotle, McDonald's. McDonald's is going to be an interesting one in my estimation, given the fact that they have been in the news recently with some fairly negative news, despite their stock that's been going up. Read a report just recently how about a third of McDonald's corporations, McDonald's small business owners, are upside down in their investments in McDonald's, and there's a little bit of undercurrent really kind of building right now with people that have invested in McDonald's. So McDonald's currently above $100. That's been a long-term resistance level for it. Currently at 104.50. Wouldn't do anything before the earnings, but I kind of like the price action here. In terms of the movement, would never buy something overvalued, but maybe after earnings we could get a little better assessment on that. Also, Under Armour reporting earnings this week as well. So big week in earnings. Got about 120 different companies, large cap and above companies reporting earnings this week. Make sure if you're an investor in those companies, you are going through your due diligence in terms of tracking their progress, making sure you go through the process of whether or not you should have any degree of insurance on the positions. If you're swing trading, obviously we don't hold through earnings, and so we do have 120 companies reporting earnings this week. Make sure you know when they are reporting earnings. From a price level perspective, economic reports, let's kind of go into tackle trading real quick. And as you can see, we got a new face on tackle trading. Gave it an updated look on tackle, and like most things, people, it takes some time to get to know and get to use your new website here. And we're looking at, this is just step one into redesigning the entirety of the website, making sure everything is clean, everything is easy, everything is searchable, functional. We're going to be working on the Clubhouse next, and then other versions of the back end of it to make sure your experience with tackle trading is as good as it gets. But just a couple things to make sure. One thing I do miss is the slider bar, and as you can see, we're scrolling settling down a little bit. Here's your slider bar with the reports there. Obviously, you can see our handsome mugs there as well. And so we're looking to build on this new face that we put on Tackle Train. But a couple things real quick. If you're ever searching for something like you want to see anything we've stated on covered calls, just go into the search, click enter, and that will bring up anything we got on covered calls. Or if you're looking for the go to bed trade, or you're looking for economic reports, or whatever the case might be, you can just type into search and it'll bring up everything that is relative to the covered call. Also, the menu button, we've kind of made it a little clean. Here's your learning center with the video vault blogs. There's Tyler Craig's Tales of a Technician newsletters. Here's your trade center everybody knows and loves. Here's all your reports. Here's your clubhouse with the trading forum, market recap, podcast, coaches, shows. But here's what I want you to look at over here. Number one, we do know that people love that slider bar. So what we've done here is we've hit the menu button. If you go over to where it says recent post, all you do is have to hit that recent post icon, and all of a sudden you can see everything that we've recently put up there. We have a weekly schedule up there as well, so that you can make sure, okay, here's on Mondays, here's Tuesdays, Saturdays, Thursdays, and Sundays. And as we expand the things we do on a weekly basis, we'll make sure that that is updated. And then the sitemap. I really like the sitemap here, as you can kind of breaks down things in, okay, here's all the replays of the coaches show, here's the trading room, here's all the coaches shows, and obviously we have a tremendous amount of coaches shows out there. Here's your scouting reports and your newsletters. So we're trying to make things a little simpler, a little easier, a little more customizable. And as you guys get used to the new website, you believe me, we're going to be working on some other things out there as well. So let's go ahead and let's look up the Trade Center here. So we're going to go to the Trade Center, and we're going to look at let's first look at the heat map, see what kind of sectors did what today. And so the heat map's going to pull up here, and as you can see, basic materials, energy companies kind of got beat up today. Services decent. Biotech had a real decent day today. Technology kind of split, financial split, but a little bit up, a little bit down, kind of like what we saw in the S&P 500 as a whole. Clicking on the Forex calendar, let's go ahead and bring up the Forex calendar. And this week in the market, we really don't have anything this week to really get too caught up with. We got building permits on Tuesday. We got Thursday with unemployment claims. So that's really the only thing we have this week. If you look at all the currencies out there, obviously we're going to have a lot more. We had some news coming out of China. Industrial production came in at 5.7. GDP, if you believe what they actually say, that comes in at 6.9. That was an increase of the 6.8 that the forecast was, but a little bit slightly under the previous at 7%. I don't believe that number. I think the industrial production is a little bit more accurate in terms of what's going on there. Australia with monetary meeting, with the CAD with the monetary policy report this week, and we have an ECB press conference. So we got a little bit more economic news internationally, but for the United States markets, we really don't have that much this week in the marketplace. And so earnings is kind of the name of the game right now. Earnings, and I would say if you're looking at the S&P 500 kind of tracking into that resistance level, the market has went from 1870 up to 2027. That is 150 point move without a retracement, and you're approaching that very, very important resistance zone right at 2040 is where I'm going to put that resistance zone. Right around 2040 again is where I'm putting that resistance zone. So we've already moved up 150 points from the low. A lot of this is based on not earnings. Earnings has not been that good. It's not based on economic reports. They have not been that good. It's really based on the belief that things are so bad out there that the Fed will not raise rates and they'll do another version of quantitative easing. Whether or not you believe that or not the point. That's the faith and confidence of what is driving this marketplace right now. Can it drive it past 2040? This week's going to be a very important week to determine that, and earnings is going to be the name of the game. So, Matt Justice, Tackle Trading, getting the game, changing lives one trade at a time over there at tackletrading.com. If you like the video, make a comment over there at Tackle Trading, or make sure you like it on YouTube, and tell a friend about Tackle Trading. Let's build this thing grassroots style. Matt Justice, Tackle Trading.
Isn't it time you got off the sidelines and tackled trading? Join our online community of active traders where we make it happen every day. Stocks, options, futures, and Forex at www.tackletrading.com. Get in the game.